everyone, I'm Francesca. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be making sweet and spicy dumplings, and these dumplings were so good. If you follow me on Instagram, you know how much I love dumplings. Last year, it's been almost a year since I put out my first dumpling video, and those dumplings came out amazing. They're delicious, they're fun to make. So I wanted to do another recipe for you guys. So this is filled with like a spicy tofu filling with some broccoli, cabbage, green onion, really good. I did not make homemade dumpling wrappers this time. If you can't find dumpling wrappers anywhere in your stores, I will link the old recipe or the old video down below and up above, so you can watch that if you need to make your own dumpling wrappers. But yeah, they're pretty easy to find in the food store. You usually just have to look in the frozen section and kind of like the ethnic area of it. They're usually like hiding behind stuff, and they're usually vegan. I mean, obviously double check. So with all that being said, let's hop into the recipe. All right, let's talk about our filling ingredients first. So here I have some broccoli. Chop this up really nice and small. We want everything to be cut up really small so that way it fits inside of our dumpling nicely. And then we have some extra firm tofu. This is actually the sriracha baked tofu from Trader Joe's, but use any tofu you like, doesn't really matter. And then finally I have some mixed cabbage. This was like mixed purple cabbage, carrots, and green cabbage, and some green onion. Everything chopped up nice and small. Then I'm taking a big pot, just like half a pot, half pan. I really like it. And I'm just gonna put it on medium heat, and I'm gonna add in all of those ingredients that I just showed you. I like to cook my ingredients before, so that way everything is just like nicely cooked in the sauce and everything has tons of flavor when you bite inside the dumpling. So I'm gonna give that a little toss around, and then we are going to add on our sweet and spicy sauce. So I'm gonna pour on our sweet and spicy sauce now. I'll have all the full ingredients, of course, listed down below, but it's made from a bunch of things and it is really good. And I am just going to toss the veggies and the tofu in that sauce, get everything well incorporated, covered in the sauce, and just let it cook for maybe like 5 to 6 minutes on that lowish heat, just so that way it gets soft, the sauce kind of cooks out and reduces down a little bit, and everything gets nice and tender. Once it's all done cooking, remove it from the stove, and we are ready to make our dumplings. These are the wrappers I'm using. I get them at the food store. They look like this. They usually come frozen. You have to let them thaw out, and they're really thin. Again, I have the recipe for homemade dumpling wrappers if you need. I'm just going to roll the edge of the dumpling wrapper in some water, and now we can start to fill them. So I'm gonna use about a teaspoon of the filling, because I don't want to make them too big. If it's too big, it rips. Exactly like when you make burritos or something. If you get a little over ambitious, everything's gonna rip and then you're gonna be angry. So fill it with less. I am just going to take the sides up and fold it in half so it almost looks like a little taco. Then I'm going to take that one edge and pinch it together, like so. And then we are just going to start pleating them. And I just like to do this by taking the one side and folding it over and pushing it down. And I'm gonna fold it over and press it down. Once you get the hang of doing this, it's so easy to make them, but it might take a few tries to make them. I mean, don't worry if your first ones don't come out to be the most beautiful things ever. And I find actually the less I think about it, the easier it is to do. And then I just kind of like to round and crescent shape the edges out a little bit, give everything a really good pinch, make sure it's all sealed together, and it should look something like this. And it doesn't need to be beautiful, it doesn't need to be perfect. Most of mine come out, you know, mediocre looking, but they just look really nice when they're all together. And I mean, they're homemade dumplings, who's gonna complain about that? So I thought maybe this side angle would help you guys see a little bit better, so I'm just gonna let you watch this. So while I'm working on the dumplings, I keep the ones that I've already made covered with a dishcloth. That way they don't dry out before I cook them. So these are them when they're all done. We got 30 dumplings from this, which is a lot, and you can see they came out nice. They look good. And now we can cook them. So again, in that same nice big pan pot, I don't know, is this a pan or a pot? I don't know. I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of sesame oil so we can get their little bottoms all nice and crispy, which is honestly my favorite part. I love how golden and crispy they get. So I'm just going to take each dumpling and like rub it around in the oil and just get them all coated on the bottom. Alternatively, you could just steam these if you want. If you're oil free, if you don't feel like making them this way, you could totally steam them. And this is the point where you would freeze them if you don't want to cook them right now. So once I get them all in there, kind of lined up nicely, and they're not completely on top of each other, we're just gonna cook it for about 3 minutes until those bottoms are really golden and bubbly and crispy. It's gonna look something like this. Now we're gonna add in a 1/4 cup of water, put a lid on it, and steam it until all the water is done and gone. You know, until it's all steamed off. And while this steams, I usually like to make my dipping sauce. So I'm gonna take the lid off once all the water's gone. As you can see, the wrappers have gotten kind of shiny, a little translucent, and that's exactly what we want. And these look so beautiful. I love all the colors inside. Okay, so I plated them up. I made this dipping sauce, which is basically the same as the sauce we put it in. I'll have it, of course, all written out down below and on the blog post for you guys to check out. And I just like to drizzle some of the sauce on there because it just gives extra flavor and it looks pretty for pictures. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can, of course, just dip them in plain soy sauce. I mean, it's whatever you want to do. Use another dipping sauce, anything you want. Then I'm gonna add on some green onions and black and white sesame seeds because I feel like that is literally all I top my food with. The same 3 things. And these are our beautiful dumplings all done. How amazing do these look? These are so good. They're so delicious. I love how beautiful they look. I love how flavorful they are. And I think you guys are really going to love them. I mean, of course, you have to like spicy food. If you don't like spicy food, then you can use less spice, or maybe this one isn't for you. And here is a little bit of dipping action because we all need some good dipping action in our life, don't we? This is the inside of them, and they came out so good. I'm really happy with them. All right, guys, that was our video. I really hope you enjoyed it. As always, the full recipe is on my blog. There is a link in the description box down below, right there. First thing when you hit read more. There's PDF printable recipes on there. If you want just the ingredients, that is in the description box down below. If you guys try this, tag me on Instagram or use #plantifullybased so I can find your recreations and share them on my stories. If you like my videos, you already know, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I upload new videos every Thursday and every other Sunday. We did this Wednesday because it was 4th of July tomorrow, so I didn't really want to upload on a holiday. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!